So adding to the post about freezing stir-fry veggie mixes, this is just to show a little bit of my experimentation with putting up greens, not so much mixed ones in these cases, but I have done mixed veggies in both the frozen and a little bit with the dried, mostly with the frozen, but I've been experimenting with jars so I don't have to use freezer bags, trying to minimize plastic use. And I have a billion jars, so and most of these are recycled spaghetti sauce jars, so a little bit less than a quart on most of these jars. So basically these ones are kale, and I've done this with other greens too, beet greens, bok choy, and a couple others. And so basically I'm trying to make sure the leaves are mostly dry before I do this. If they're wet, you cannot break them apart as you go. But basically these two are completely full and stuffed. I've taken a wooden spoon or something like this, and as I put leaves in, I squish them down with the spoon, and so they're really packed in there tight, so minimal air getting to the greens. And then I'm using these plastic lids, and occasionally I'll have one crack from bumping around in the freezer, but usually that works pretty well, and they seem to hold up pretty good as far as freezer burn and lasting easily, a year or more. So I've got beet greens in the freezer from leftover from last year that still look great, and this is one that's in progress. So I've added some kale. I stuck it in the freezer after it was frozen. I pulled it out and I tamped it down. Sometimes I'll break it up before putting in the jars, but in this case I stuffed in whole leaves, and after they're frozen you can see they break up really easily. So then when you pull them out of the freezer, then you might have to take a knife and poke in there and break it up a little bit, and then pour whatever's broken up into your pan or your, in this case this is fish chowder. Add that to it, and then like one of these jars will usually last me about a month throughout the winter. And so these are dried. This is dried stinging nettles, and here's some dried kale, which I'm going to add more to, and I'll tamp it down, and it'll be like this nettles. This is a really packed tight jar of dried stinging nettles. So that's two things I'm kind of experimenting with, options to freezer bags.